you should always focus on speaking positivity in your life, right? And what I mean by that is your perception of yourself will influence other people's perception of you. So what I mean by that is pretty much basically, I've met a lot of guys in my life, right? Just in the general sense. I can think of guys who possibly, maybe they weren't like the tallest, the most handsome, the smartest guy. Maybe they didn't have anything too special about themselves on an outward look, but the guys always had a positive mindset. They treated people with kindness and respect. And because of that, there were people that really developed well that everyone liked to be around, right? Even women. So it's something to keep in mind. It's not just like women just look at one aspect of you. It's kind of like the whole picture of who you are, what your personality is, because all of this stuff matters when you're in a relationship with someone, especially if you're thinking about starting a family with someone. All that stuff matters, right? You can think of the wilderness, even in animal societies, and especially as humans have become more advanced, right? Just because a guy's like the biggest, most toughest guy in the room, it doesn't mean he's going to do good in the evolutionary sense. There's guys that aren't the biggest, most toughest guy in the room, but they have plenty of friends and they have plenty of resources. And in the real world, in a human society, someone who has access to all those resources and all those abilities is a lot better at protecting themselves and their families and just growing in a positive manner in the general sense. And in the real world, I've also met plenty of guys in the opposite end of the spectrum who were really talented. Maybe they were like really smart. Maybe they were just really successful or famous just in the general sense. And, or just in general, they were pretty smart. They had like maybe even handsome guys that were just like had a lot going for themselves. And just the way that they spoke about themselves and that the way that they would view themselves in the presence of other people would influence whether people wanted to be around them and would influence whether even other people like. So it's something to keep in mind, especially in the dating market, especially with women. People do not just view one aspect of yourself and say, especially women. Women do not view one aspect of yourself and say, hey, this guy's cool. I think I'm going to start dating him. Maybe a woman might show an initial interest in you and they have this thought in their head that like, okay, I'm going to give this guy a chance. If he happens to be a decent person.